everyone, Thomas here and welcome back to another video. So today I am not doing a speed build, but it is still kind of build related, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to build underwater homes in The Sims 4. So as you know, I've done quite a lot of these on the channel already, and I do get questions every time I do one on particular parts of the build, and people just not really knowing where to start or kind of getting a bit confused on different parts of it. So today I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I build them. A lot of other people do these types of builds as well, so you know, for example, Freezer Bunny and Aubrey, just as a few examples. So you know, everybody might have slightly different ways of doing it, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you the way I do it. So the way I start off is really simple. I just draw a pool. So to start off is all I do is take the pool tool and basically just make a pool the size of the lot like that. Now you know, that's fine and everything, but to make it a little bit more interesting, what I do is actually use the custom pool tool here, and then I use that just to make things look a little bit more interesting around the lot. And the reason I do this is just so, well, as I just said, so it looks a bit more interesting, but also it allows me to put some landscaping around the exterior as well, which I'll show you about that in a second. So you know, I don't really have any sort of plan when I do this. I sort of just kind of do what I want. If I'm not really happy with an area, I just kind of go back a little bit and, you know, do it again. So kind of just going around like this, really just randomly, just those little bits of areas where we can go ahead and put some landscaping in. Now, you know, depending on the style of home you're going for, maybe having lots of landscaping around the exterior won't really fit. So you may just want to do the kind of plain rectangle pool the size of the lot if you want to. But like I said, this just makes things a little bit more interesting to work with. So then once you're happy with the shape, and you can change this as we go, it's not too critical at this point, we then need to start actually making the rooms down below. And what you got to think about when you're doing underwater builds is that you're pretty much making a basement. So just think of it like that. So what we're going to do is go ahead and actually just put a basement in. So what you need is somewhere to actually access underneath the pool. So putting a staircase in and like a front door of the build. So I normally just do it at the front of the lot here. I make like a staircase kind of going down here, and then I start building the house here underneath. And then you could do it either on the side or at the back, in just different areas if you want to make it look a little more hidden, or if you do want it to be noticeable, then you know, you can just put it at the front. So I do that, and then I go underneath into this room that we've just done, and I kind of flip around and then go ahead and put a staircase in for people to access from up above. And then we're going to go ahead and put a front door here. So in today's build, I'm not going to actually be like fully furnishing the home as a speed build or anything, since I have done a lot of these builds already. It's pretty much just to show you how to do it. And also another thing, you will need move objects on for this, definitely. This is one of the builds where you definitely need that cheat for. You know, it doesn't mean things are going to be not functional or anything, it just allows you to actually do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there. We'll make it black, and then it's to kind of start thinking about the house that you're going to do. So like I've said, I've done quite a few of these before. The most recent one I did was actually a few different tiny homes underwater, so you may have a different layout of that, or just kind of work on it like a house. Now the really good thing about this is that because it's just one level and you don't really think about roofing as much, or kind of the exterior of the build as much, it is a lot easier, I think, when it comes to doing floor plans. So basically what I normally do is kind of have like a big area sort of just here, where I have like the main living space, and also as you can see, now that we're underneath, we are just placing them as rooms. If I was to place a room like here, it wouldn't work. So if you are up on ground trying to place rooms, use the basement tool. If you're down here trying to place rooms, then you use the room tool, because if you're down here and use the basement tool, it will go down another floor, which you could do as well. That's totally fine if you want to kind of, you know, make use of the space a bit better. So I would probably say that's kind of the main living area there. And then I can just make pop-outs for different other rooms. So for example, you could have like a study back here or something, or like a bathroom, and then kind of just play around with it as you wanted, find a floor plan that works for you. I might do like a kitchen off here, for example. And then I might do, you know, just like maybe one bedroom here, and let's say another bathroom over here. So, you know, this is a 30 by 20 lot, so you may want to do a bigger lot or smaller, or, you know, whatever you want. I'm just kind of showing you an example of how to actually do it today. So then we're going to kind of think about roofing. So you don't really need roofing, to be honest, because it is underwater, but I do think it's nice to have glass roofs and skylights just to let more light in. So that's what I do. Now, this is where a lot of people kind of get confused in our speed builds of how I actually do this. So I don't put skylights in every room. Sometimes if they're too small, I don't bother. So I always kind of think of like the biggest room in the house, which is this one right here. And then what I go ahead and do is kind of go one tile in. So basically where this square room is, make another room, but just one tile in, as you can see what I did there. And then I'm just going to put the walls up, and I'm going to highlight this room, go back above ground, and then click on this yellow perimeter of this box here. Click on it and click remove ceiling. And this is where the area of the glass roof is going to go. So what I'm going to do is just take any glass roof. I'm just going to go for one like this, and then normally you can't really place it above here. Sometimes you'll get like an error, so if that happens, just place it on a grass like that and then use the arrows to pull it over to it if that happens to you, which it does to me sometimes. I don't really know what causes it, but yeah, so it didn't happen today, so it's kind of hard to explain what I meant. So I've got the roof in. I'm just going to go ahead and bring it down and then go ahead and choose a glass swatch, so maybe something like that. And one thing you will notice is that if you're looking from above ground underneath, it will look a little bit weird through the glass roof, so if you see that you haven't done something wrong, that is normal, just how the game works. So you can just play around and find what works for you like that, and then go back underground and remove these walls here that were placed down before, and then as you can see, the light comes in and fills this room nicely, and then you can go back above ground and put some trims in and things like that, which we'll do shortly. So I'm kind of just looking around to see if there's any other spaces I could put a glass roof in. So we'll build these rooms on the sides here. Now to think that you've got a room here and then you've got to go ahead and do that thing that we just done by drawing another room inside it, how I did with this one. Well, that isn't going to be very big, so I just won't bother with that. I'll kind of just find the next biggest room, which would be this one. So even though, and I'm just doing the same thing here as you can see, so even though this is a bit smaller, it's still enough room to fit a glass roof in. And the reason I have to do this, how I'm not like, so for example, I'm not placing a glass roof the size of this entire room. The reason I'm going one tile in is, say for example, I'll just show you what happens. I'll just go ahead and place it here, like that, and then go ahead into the, you can't actually place it on the very edges of the pool. That's why you have to go one tile in, which is a little bit frustrating, but just in case you're wondering why you have to do that. And then again, I'm just doing the same thing with this glass roof, and you can use any type of roof style that you want really, just kind of just what works for you, what you have in mind for the build. So personally, if you're kind of thinking of ideas to do, there's kind of so many you can do really, but what I would say is that modern works really well. I'm actually building this in Newcrest, and there's also loads of worlds you could do this in as well, so kind of just find one that works well for you. But Newcrest is a good one. I associate Newcrest with modern builds, well, as you can see here from my Real Sims build the other day. So yeah, I think modern fits really well with these underwater built, so that's an idea for a theme if you want to do that. So there we go, we'll have the glass roofs in. Now that you've got that out the way, you've basically done the main part of the build. So now it's kind of just thinking of all the other things you would do with the house, so landscaping, and then going in and doing the interior and finishing it, and also putting windows in, which we're going to do next. So again, it's really simple. If you have move objects on, you're not going to have any problems with this, and it's basically just doing it the same way as you would normally on a house. Think of these as just the exterior walls of the home. So you just put the windows in where you want, and kind of just go around there and just put them in anywhere you want really, and it's just as simple as that, to be honest. So I won't do all of those, I'll do the rest of them off screen, and you can place the windows from above ground as well if you find that easier. So, and as I said earlier, if you're not really happy with the pool shape, you can go ahead and change that up if you need to. As I said earlier, it wasn't too critical, so it's really easy just to add extra bits in with the custom pool tool. As I said earlier, I find this one the easiest to use, but of course if you want to just use the regular one, that's totally fine as well. So as I said, we can go ahead and put some landscaping in now. So again, I kind of just put them up here, and I just map out with the terrain paints where I want landscaping to go, so around the sides and then also in these middle bits as well. So as you see there, I'm going to put landscaping within this area here and also around the side of the lot. Now instead of putting landscaping in the center bit, like where the glass roofs are and things, you could actually use that as more of a practical space, because you don't really have an outdoor backyard or anything like that with these type of builds. So I've done this a couple of times, but what you can do is basically just change the pool up a little bit. So I'm just going to take out that area there, and your Sims can walk around and use the kind of roof area as their backyard, if that makes sense. So sometimes I've put planter boxes on, sometimes I've put outdoor seating in, and then you can kind of pave that over with stone tiles or whatever you want really. So I'll just show you, for example, just kind of cover this over with stone tiles, and that maybe isn't the nicest colour swatch, but just to show you what I mean, and you can go ahead and do that. So for all of this area, sometimes with builds that have the pool shape like this, which is a little bit sort of uneven, a little bit more natural looking, I do just like to leave this grass and then just put plants on it and stuff. And then what I normally do at the back as well is I choose fairly big trees actually, and kind of use that to enclose the space a little bit, just for a bit more privacy. And I think it looks nice in pictures as well, having all the back closed up. So I'll put a little bit more, you know, trees and stuff than that. But that's just a quick little video to show you how I actually do it. And everything from there, now that you've got the underwater part done, is fairly straightforward. Also, just another thing I'll keep in mind, just another little tip, is when you are doing the ceiling lights, remember about the glass roofs. Now, since you have moved objects on, it's not going to cause a problem. You know, you can put the ceiling lights in like that, but just remember when you're looking from the exterior, you know, you're going to see the floating lights. So what I normally do is, it doesn't apply to rooms that don't have a glass roof, but rooms that do, remember just to kind of put them on the exterior of the rooms like this. So in these four corners, I would say, are the best places to put them. And also, just one more thing, what I like to do sometimes is with the actual pool area is actually put landscaping within the pool area as well. So, you know, it really kind of depends on the style of build you're going for. I do this a lot in, well, actually in the underwater tiny homes build I did last time for this type of build. Since it was in Sony, you do see underwater plants in Sony, so I did that here. So for example, what I'll do is just go into this miscellaneous menu here and take this color swatch here, which isn't, I don't actually think this classes as like dirt, but it kind of just looks like it. So you don't have to use that. I just do that if I'm going to end up putting landscaping in the pool area here. But another thing as well I do is flooring and wall tiles from Spa Day that glow. I think they look really nice, and it kind of just blends really well with the watercolour, I think, and it just kind of makes everything stand out a little bit. So I did that there, and then I'll go ahead and do the same for the walls as well. So you can do that, or like I said earlier, go ahead and use dirt on the bottom if you want to put some plants under there. Then, you know, you may want to choose dirt over that. And yes, that's pretty much it for today's video. I know this is very unfinished here, but as I said, the point of this video was just to help you understand a little bit better of how to build a house underwater. As I said earlier, I do have so many different underwater builds on my channel, so make sure you go ahead and check a few of those out for some ideas and to see further how I finish off the build in terms of the furnishing on the inside as well. If you do have any more questions, then feel free to leave those down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!